We have breaking news. The Los Angeles Lakers have made multiple moves, including finally addressing their glaring hole at center. We're going to break down exactly who they signed, discuss what this means going forward, as well as break down who they waived in order to make room for Alex Len. Stay tuned for all that in this episode, folks. But before we get into it, quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. If you're part of that 86 or so percent who aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. Your guys' support has been unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, I made a video just a little bit ago specifically talking about how a signing is imminent surrounding Los Angeles Lakers and how Alex Len is the most likely target. I made a video last night about how the Lakers were closing in on Alex Len, and ladies and gentlemen, they just made the signing official. Alex Len is officially a Laker. They have made their decision surrounding their next center, at least for the rest of this season. And you can see here, we're going to dive into a ton of different things surrounding Alex Len, but Shams just dropped free agent 7-footer Alex Len will sign with the Lakers. His agent tells ESPN Len intended to sign with the Pacers, but has decided to land in LA after the Lakers rescinded the Mark Williams trade and created new opportunity. And I've been discussing a lot about the Lakers here over the past few days on this channel. He is an interesting fit, and we're going to dive into some of the advanced analytics, some of course, just some of the more common analytics about why he would be a good fit and why the Lakers and Rob Pelinka ultimately landed with Alex Len. And, of course, who they, had to give up in order to get him. But it makes sense now. So they addressed their big man issue. A report came out that, 24 to 48 hours. I guess he meant more like 24 to 48 minutes because they decided to go with Alex Len briefly after making that report from Shams and things like that. Now, Alex Len is an extremely intriguing player. And like I covered in the video earlier, he's a 7-footer. He's going to be able now to guard the other team's big men. That's the biggest thing coming into this, the next few games. And maybe he'll be ready for the game tomorrow against the Jazz. If not, you, of course, have the All-Star break coming up this weekend, a bunch of different things. But you can see this here, and this is from B-Ball Index. Is Alex Len elite? Not at all. Can he provide the Lakers with 12 to 15 minutes of solid center play nightly? Absolutely. And you can see this here. We're going to dive into his advanced analytics. So let's start with his interior defense because this is exactly what the Lakers are bringing him in for. They have Jackson Hayes and his ability to, be a bit more agile, be a good shot blocker, all these different things. But what they don't have is specifically, a big center, a 7-foot strong guy. Alex Len is 7 foot, 250 pounds, only 31 years old. So when it comes to, his value, and of course these numbers they might not mean a lot to, most NBA fans, but you can see the grade on the right to kind of give you a general idea. He has a B+ rim protection, an A help defense talent, C+ post defense, an F screener mobile defense, and screener rim defense as a D-. So defensively, he's quite poor when it comes to pick and roll defense. That's going to be his weak point. However, as a help defender and a rim protector, he is absolutely perfect. You can see here he's a very good help defense talent, which I guess, directly correlates to playing the help defense role. And we've seen that with Jackson Hayes. We've seen how Jackson Hayes has continued to develop and be a fairly good help defender. Now, his post defense is a C+, but I think strictly by having his, 7-foot frame on the Los Angeles Lakers team, we don't really have a 7-footer who's 250 pounds, a really bulky guy to come out and play defense against the opposing team's, big men. Even an example is yesterday against Walker Kessler. Having Alex Len would have helped a ton, not only for if Jackson Hayes gets in foul trouble, but just guarding in the post. And Alex Len has very good help defense metrics. Now, you're talking about offensive rebounding. He isn't a great rebounder, but he's putting up some pretty good numbers. He averages per 75 possessions, 3.59 value when it comes to offensive rebounds. That's good for an A- grade. He's very solid at putback, so he's going to be active around the rim. Now, obviously, his stats this season are just not good, right? They're not very we'll get into it in a minute. They're not very good. But when you look at the advanced analytics here, again, he hasn't played much with the Kings this season, so you can't really directly look at his stats. He's a very good help defender. He's a very solid rim protector. He's not great in the post, and he's definitely not good in pick and roll. So he's going to get abused in the pick and roll, but that's why off of the bench, we're hoping JJ Redick's only going to use him against other big lineups where pick and rolls will be fairly slow anyway when it comes to the roller. For example, Walker Kessler yesterday. And offensively, he's not a great finisher. Not a great rebounder, sorry. However, you can look at his finishing. He's good at times. When it comes to shot creation, absolutely not. He is not going to be able to get his own shot. He's not going to be a post scorer. That's just not what he does. However, he's very average around the rim to above average, right? Has a good field goal percentage around the rim, draws a ton of fouls, all these different things. Not a great finisher, but he's solid around the rim. So, and when I say not a great finisher, I mean, driving, finishing, and creating his own shot. And as you look at his stats here, again, 1.4 points per game, 36 games this season. He's really had a diminished role with the Kings. He's going to have a greatly increased role with the Los Angeles Lakers off of the bench. I'm guessing 15 to 20 minutes. I said that in my video earlier today and yesterday. If he comes in, it's going to be off of the bench, helping guarding the opposing team's big men, helping give Jackson Hayes a bit of a break. And we knew that Rob Pelinka was going to go for a center that has a complementary, asset to Jackson Hayes. And that's what he is. He is a bigger guy than Jackson Hayes when it comes to actual strength. He's going to be able to guard not necessarily the post well, but he's at least a big body that you can throw out there. And they're not going to be playing Jackson Hayes and Alex Len next to each other at all, right? It's just not going to happen. But what they are going to be able to do is just have another body out there, right? And that's the big thing. Having another body out there, being a solid backup center, and that's exactly what you could ask for when you're talking about Los Angeles Lakers needing a center. You're never going to get somebody, and you're never going to in the buyout market, someone who's going to play consistent minutes. A starting center was even unrealistic given the way that they're above the first apron. They can't go with anybody really more than the league minimum, which is what it seems like Alex Len's going to get. So at this point, it was on the Lakers to go ahead and make a signing, someone that can help this season. It's a big body. He'll be able to help in the pick and roll. He'll be able to help not defend the pick and roll necessarily, but even the pick and roll on offense. I mean, Luka Doncic, he's a big body. He can finish around the rim fairly well. Obviously, it's an interesting acquisition. Now, I do understand the negatives. He's fairly slow. He's not a very good post defender. I think at this point for the Lakers, they didn't really care about his mobility as much. I think they cared. I mean, he can be mobile in defense at times, but he's pretty hefty. He's going to be able to guard the post and specifically give a break to Jackson Hayes. I think that's the biggest thing for Alex Len. Now, when it comes to what they actually had to give up in order to get Alex Len, there were some reports circulating from, I believe, Evan Sittery, who said it was Cam Reddish. That's actually not the case. It is Christian Wood who was waived to sign Alex Len. And we saw some reports that Christian Wood was going to aim for a February return, a mid-February return. So it is now Christian Wood who is gone. Now, Christian Wood is a very interesting, he's had an interesting career trajectory. I mean, you think about last year, he played 50 games, sort of 6.9 points. A little bit surprised that Cam Reddish is still on the team because he was obviously the one that the Lakers gave up in order to get Mark Williams before the trade was nixed. And ultimately, the trade was nixed. But now you're at the point where you have Christian Wood gone. So you did have an abundance of centers. Your Koloko, Trey Jemison, now Alex Len, and Jackson Hayes. Christian Wood is the one that they decided to part with here. And he's 2 years removed from being a Sixth Man of the Year finalist twice. He was averaging 16 points, of course, with the Mavericks, with Houston. I mean, he was a very, very good player at one point in time, an okay shot blocker, but clearly they prefer what they have in the centers that they have here, and they prefer, I guess, Christian Wood being gone over Cam Reddish, which is a very intriguing thing. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on that. I mean, it is clear he's hurt. Let's keep that in mind. Cam Reddish is fairly healthy as of this point. I mean, not necessarily super healthy, but he's been more healthy than Christian Wood has been. And I guess when it comes to 3 and D wings, they'd rather have Cam Reddish at this point in time. But keep in mind now, in order to convert Jordan Goodwin, which it seems like they are going to do, or at least with his plays, he's been fantastic. There's a good chance that they waive Cam Reddish in any move like that as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what they ultimately do. Let me know down below, are you surprised about Christian Wood being waived in order to sign Alex Len? I mean, ultimately, Alex Len's going to be an extremely intriguing player to watch. He's going to be playing 10 to 15 minutes off the bench, maybe to 15 to 20, depending on foul trouble on a given night. But at least we have another center now, as they can, again, reports came out that it was Cam Reddish. It is not. Just to be clear, it is Christian Wood. So it'll be interesting. We'll keep you guys up to date with all the latest news. So let me know down below what your thoughts are. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.